everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. It's time to put together clue number 9 from the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt Sparkle and Shine. Can't believe it's already the penultimate month and we only have one more clue, which tells us how to put all of it together before we see how it all comes together. I'm so excited, of course, for that. It's a little bittersweet because, you know, it's always great to spend 10 months putting this project together, and then even better when we get to put the whole thing together. I don't know, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I'm just excited because I'm ready to see what this one looks like. So let's stop talking and let's go ahead and put together clue number 9. All right, I have everything I need. I have my Moonstone fabric guide. I have the Sparkle and Shine clue number 9 for my small quilt. And then of course I have my packet number 9 for this, and I'm just so excited. I don't know what to say. I'm just so excited. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we got. Okay, the fabric included in this packet is, we have 8 small triangles of A. We have 4 small triangles of D. We have 6 large triangles of C. And lastly, we've got 4 large triangles of A. That's all that's included in this packet. I'm going to go ahead and put these on the table behind me, and we'll go ahead and get started with step number 1. All right, getting started with section 9, you'll be making 2 of section 9. The instructions below tell you how to make both at the same time, so we're going to be making both of our clues at the same time. Step number 1 says to join a small triangle of A and D. We're going to make 4 of these, so we're going to make this 4 times, and we're going to press towards our D fabric. So if you're doing Moonstone, as you probably may know, we've done this many times, but just in case, remember which side is the nice side of your fabric that has the screen printed, or however this technique is done. Make sure to put that on the correct side of your fabric, so that way you're not sewing it to the inside of your quilt. We're just going to put these on top of each other. We've done half square triangles how many times during this one? We've done it a lot, so I'm just going to put them on top of each other like that. So across that line, I'm going to do it 4 times, and I'll come back when it's time to press. All right, there we go, and again, we're going to press towards our D fabric, and for half square triangles, I like to go up, and then back down, and then straight over to the left. I have this weird, on some of these, I have some weird edges there. I don't know what happened, but I'm just going to run with it. I never really measure all that much, but it'll come out fine in the end. All right, so there we go. We have our 4 half square triangles using small triangles of D and A fabric. Let's go ahead and move on to step number 2. All right, moving on to step number 2, it says to join a large triangle of A to the left of a large triangle of C. So we're going to do this first, where we put them along this edge and sew on this edge. And we're going to press towards our C fabric. And then we're going to add an additional large triangle of A to the right, and we're going to press towards C again. So we're going to put triangles of A on both the left and right side of the C triangle, and we're going to press it towards the C, and we're going to make that 2 times, and I'll rejoin you when it's time to press everything out. Before I walk away, I do want to show you that this may feel a little strange whenever you're sewing these together because they don't match up. So again, we're sewing on this seam right here. This is the first A triangle that I'm putting onto my C triangle. And what I'm going to do is, you'll notice that this corner is clipped, and so is this one up here. So all I have to do is line up my clipped edges like this. And see, it feels kind of weird because it forms this weird shape, but we're going to sew along this line right here, just taking it very slow, very easy, and you'll basically be going through the point right here. Your needle will go through this point all the way across, and it should come out around this point as well. All right, there we go. There's the first part of our step. I am pressing towards my C fabric, and I'm kind of pressing it out like I would a half square triangle. That seems to work the best for me. So there's our first part, and if I flip it over onto the back, you can see I went through those points, and it almost perfectly lined up nicely. So there's the first part of it. Now I need to put my second triangle of A on the right side. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and press this out. I'm having to remember which way I'm supposed to go. I'm pressing towards my C fabric, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay my A fabric down on the mat, and then I'm gonna use my press and press it over towards my C fabric. It looks a little wobbly, but honestly, I'm quite proud of these because as you can see on my first one, these bottom lines are pretty much in line with each other, and a little bit, there's a little weirdness here on this one, but for the most part, it's also lined up nicely. So I'm very excited that I was able to get that hopefully somewhat correct. All right, let's go ahead and move on to step number 3. All right, here we go. Moving on to step number 3, it says to join a large triangle of C to the left of step 2 and press towards C. And then we're going to add a second large triangle of C to the right, and we're going to press towards C. So we're adding our 2 large triangles of C fabric on either end of step number 2, and then we're going to press them out towards our C fabric. And I'll join you whenever I complete that. Remember, this feels weird because it's going to be at a weird angle, but it is perfectly correct, and you're doing well if you got that weird angle on there. And then whenever we press it out, it will be amazing. All right, let's go ahead and do this. All right, I'm pressing these out towards my C fabric on both ends, and I've got to say I'm pretty proud of these. These are a little warpy, but honestly not too bad, and I'm very pleased with my edges being almost in line with each other. It is freaking close, so I'm pretty proud of these. All right, let's move on to step number 4. All right, moving on to step number 4. I realized I may have had these upside down in the last take there, but that's okay. Moving on to step number 4, it says to join a small triangle of A to the left of step 3 and press towards C fabric, and then add a small triangle of A to the right, and we're going to press it towards our C fabric. Again, we're going to make 2 of these. So basically, we're just kind of end capping what we did on step number 3, and we're just going to add in our A fabric to match it up with what looks like here in the middle. And it looks like I have some loose threads that I need to trim, but we're just going to do that 2 times, and we'll be back as soon as I get it all pressed. All right, there we go. We have sewn on our small A triangles onto both ends, and now I'm pressing towards my C fabric. These points always want to fight me whenever I'm pressing them out, so you just gotta kind of bend them to your will. And oops, it goes this way because I need to press this way, so I'll press like so. There we go. And we'll just press these out, and I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty good about my points on these. These are looking pretty good. This one's a little wobbly, but for the most part, I think I'm doing okay. So there we go. There's step number 4. Let's move on to step number 5. All right, this may get a little too big for my frame, but for step number 5, it says to join step 1 units to the left and right of step 4. We're going to press towards the outside, and we're going to make 2 of these. So we're going to line up our A fabrics so that way they're touching. So on this end, I have my clue going this way, and then on this end, I have my clue going this way. Is that even in frame? Just barely. So we have our A fabrics touching each other just like that, and we're going to do this 2 times to both clues, 4 times in total, if that makes sense. Since we have 2 clues, we've got to sew both of these on, so that makes it a total of 4. But I'm going to go ahead and sew these on, and I'll join you when I'm pressing them out. All right, there we go. I've sewn on both of my clues. So I have my end caps on, if you will, and oh, it's funny, one of these made like a little stumpy bird because it cut out what looks like the middle part of the bird, but came out pretty cute. I don't even know if you can see that all that well on the camera, but anyways, all right, so there we go. We've pressed this out. Now it may look a little strange because remember, whenever we sew these clues into our quilt, it's going to have a 1/4 of an inch seam, so it looks like we have this weird jagged edge right here. But once we sew this into our quilt, we'll be fine. So there we go. There are our 2 clues. They should measure approximately 24.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I never measure because a finished quilt is always better than a perfect one. So it looks pretty right to me. I'm going to go with it, and we are going to label these either section or clue 9, and we are done. And that means next month we get to see how this all comes together and we get a finished quilt. Thanks for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm making it my goal in 2021 to hit 100,000 subscribers. but I need your help to make that happen. Take a moment and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then don't forget to check out the other great videos that I have here on my channel. Also, share this video with your friends and tell them to come check out the Off-Kilter Crafter.